Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A drug deal gone wrong, a robbery, gunshots fired, and an afternoon burglary. Just a few of the crimes Moorhead Police have responded to in the past 24 hours. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. According to police, it's not a crime wave, but just a constant stream of calls. Some of it crime, some is officers responding to people who need help. As Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop explains, Moorhead's increased call volume is impacting an already shorthanded police department.
4 officers per shift. That's the situation Moorhead Police are dealing with. But is that enough to keep you safe?
We're going to continue to protect and serve on the street the best we can with the resources we have, but we do anticipate the need to continue to request to have additional staffing.
Lieutenant Jacobson says they wish they could have more than 4 officers on the street, but because of the issues internally with medical leaves and deployments, they are limited to 4.
When you start reducing your staff by an entire shift, that's kind of the situation that we're sitting in. So it isn't that they're off taking and using vacation. In fact, it's the opposite. We have people that they're mostly unable to use their vacation in time like that for personal purposes because they're often pulling overtime shifts.
According to graphs from the department, in recent months, one police officer could see up to 110 calls per month compared to the prior year of 90 calls per officer. The type of call also plays a factor.
We've seen a significant increase in suicidal individual type calls, and complexity of calls are such that the officers need to take more time, oftentimes de-escalating a situation with a demand on resources.
A shortage of police and influx in calls could leave you waiting for an officer to respond.
They understand that the resources have been spread pretty thin.
Lieutenant Jacobson says their department completes the state-mandated training, but has had to give up additional training opportunities because of their staffing. In Moorhead, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The department has 58 sworn-in officers. Any addition to the department has to be cleared by the Moorhead City Council. They have requested more officers, but once they're hired, it takes about a year to train before they can hit the streets. Across the river in Fargo, police have identified a wanted man they're looking for who crashed his car and ran from police overnight. Joshua Steckroat has several outstanding warrants out for his arrest. Fargo police say they were patrolling and noticed Steckroat in a parked running vehicle, but he appeared to be passed out. Officers checked on him and he gave a false name, slammed the car door and took off. He ended up hitting several curbs in the Cashwise parking lot and went over an embankment. His car was damaged and couldn't be driven, so he got out and ran on foot. Officers recovered drugs and paraphernalia in the car. If you know where Josh Steckroat might be, call the Fargo Police Department. And Fargo Police want you to know about a registered sex offender who's homeless and living out of his car in the Kmart parking lot on South University Drive. Here's his picture. Daniel Jason Kelder is a moderate risk offender. He was convicted of gross sexual imposition 4.5 years ago in North Dakota's Ransom County. His victim was under the age of 15 and he knew her. A great day to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. Hutch, how many more quiet days can we expect?
Well, we have a few quiet days in store. It sure has been cloudy, and those clouds really limited our warming, though they are mostly stuck for viewers out in the eastern counties. Things starting to get a little sunnier, though, in the eastern third of North Dakota, including the FM area. At this time, we have 50s in Bemidji, 60s through the Red River Valley, and that extends all the way into the central Dakotas right now, with those 70s not too far away. Your planning forecast for this evening, grab the light jacket and expect 50s for the majority of our evening. Light winds, they'll still be from the northeast, but we will, Andrea, see a shift in our wind direction to a southerly one, and that usually means warmer temperatures. I'll have details on how much warming we can expect, and we'll talk about our next chance of rain here in just a couple of minutes.
You just learn a man with that word warm.
Yeah, warm is good usually,
usually.
After a cold spell.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet.
2 children and a teacher are injured after a shooting at a South Carolina elementary school this afternoon. The suspected attacker is a teenager and is in custody. All 3 victims were taken to local hospitals. The student injuries do not appear to be life-threatening. The shooting took place at Townville Elementary School, which is in the western corner of the state near the Georgia border. Armed officers used a bus to escort children from the school to a nearby church. Today marks the first time that Congress has rejected a veto by President Obama since he became president. The House of Representatives today voted 348 to 77 to override the president's veto of the 9/11 bill, allowing families to sue Saudi Arabia for allegedly backing the September 11th attackers. Earlier today, the Senate voted 97 to 1 to override the presidential veto. The lone no vote was Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has completed its investigation into the officer-involved shooting and death of Philando Castile. It's now up to the Ramsey County Attorney's Office to determine if charges should be filed in that case. The county attorney released a statement today saying there is no estimated timeline, but their office will work as efficiently as possible, adding the case will be given a diligent and thorough review. Philando Castile was shot and killed by a St. Anthony police officer in Falcon Heights on July 6th. Castile's girlfriend at the time took to Facebook Live filming the aftermath. The shooting led to multiple protests and marches. A Jamestown man had to be airlifted to Fargo after a stabbing overnight. Police are still trying to sort out what happened, but here's what we know. Police responded to the 100 block of 5th Street Northeast around 12:30 this morning. Officers found a 34-year-old Jamestown man with serious injuries. He was taken to the Jamestown Medical Center and then flown to Fargo. There's no word yet on his condition. If you have information on what may have happened, call Jamestown Police. Someone broke into Valley Dairy Big Sigs in Grand Forks overnight, and police are hoping surveillance pictures will help catch the burglar. Here are a few different angles showing the person police are looking for. It's unclear if it's a man or a woman, but they were wearing a gray sweatshirt and dark-colored face mask. Officers found a broken window on the north side of the building and say a large amount of cigarettes were stolen. Anyone with information on the burglary should call Grand Forks Police. One by one, 4 homes are burning to the ground in Moorhead this evening. It's a training exercise for the Moorhead Fire Department. Here's a look at 9th Avenue North, where the burning is taking place. Fire crews will burn until 10 tonight. That means you'll see smoke in the surrounding neighborhoods for several hours, and it could be distracting for drivers. So traffic is being detoured on 11th Street North between 8.5 Avenue North and 10th Avenue North. Crews had planned to demolish the 4 homes as part of the Clay County Courthouse expansion project. If you're considering the purchase of just about anything with wheels, tracks, or skis, you might want to be in Bemidji this weekend. The state of Minnesota is holding a surplus auction at the Beltrami County Fairgrounds this Saturday. They're starting to drive them and haul them in by the trailer load. All kinds of state-owned vehicles go on the auction block Saturday in front of the grandstand.
We'll have DNR 4x4 pickup trucks primarily, also some passenger fleet, minivans, 4-door sedans, some SUVs.
ATVs.
We'll have a couple dozen ATVs, a couple dozen snowmobiles, some riding mowers.
Registration begins at 8 in the morning Saturday, and the auction gets rolling at 9:30. Again, that's at the Beltrami County Fairgrounds near Bemidji on Saturday. If you'd like to see the full list of auction items and photos, we have it for you online. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. The city of Fargo is also gearing up for its fall auction. They're looking to get rid of used vehicles and equipment as well as impounded items. It's happening this Saturday, October 1st at the City Impound Lot, which is located at 715 17th Street North. The gates open at 8 in the morning and the sale will begin at 9. We also have these items listed on our website, so just click on the hot button for more information. Today, all remaining deer gun licenses were issued in the state of North Dakota. They were available on a first-come, first-served basis this morning. But all 49,000 licenses are allocated for the 2016 hunting season. The deer gun season opens Friday, November 4th at noon. Archery licenses can still be purchased through the end of the bow season on January 8th.